New report shows a record number of North Carolinians are having their personal information stolen, impacting families from the mountains to the coast. But just how bad is the problem, and what can we do to try to avoid falling victim? Spectrum News anchor Caroline Blair here with North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein. He's in our studio today, breaking this all down for us. So just last year, you say more than a million North Carolinians impacted by data breaches, around 1,200 to be exact. That's a new record here in North Carolina since we've been tracking since 2005.
It is. 2 years ago, there were about 1,000. Last year, there were more than 1,000. This year, there are 1,200. And the majority of these are security breaches through hacking, where it's not anything you and I could even do about it. It's companies whose databases get breached by some criminals, and it creates a real headache for all of us.
Companies like Facebook, Uber, Equifax, and like you mentioned, these are businesses that we're using on a daily basis. So what does that mean for us? How can we handle that type of a situation?
It's very hard, because if it were breaches that were occurring from people rifling through your trash can, then shredding your documents could solve the problem. But there's very little you and I can do about Facebook other than to demand that companies do a better job safeguarding our information, directly to the companies, but also to our policymakers, because we have a bill at the legislature that would impose a duty on companies to do a better job, an act to strengthen identity theft protections. We want that bill to pass this summer, so that's something that everyone can do. And then, of course, folks should monitor their credit. You get a right to a free credit report, annual, if you go to our website, ncdoj/identity theft, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Monitor your credit, make sure no one's taking out credit in your name, and put a security freeze on if you have any concerns at all, because that's a padlock on your credit.
Are you seeing these major companies taking any steps to try to protect
Yes,
us?
they do. They do. No company wants to experience a breach, but are they making the right investments in technology and security to ensure it doesn't happen? Sometimes when they have that extra dollar, do they want to give it to shareholders, or do they want to invest in capital to protect us?
Right.
And that's what we want to make sure they're protecting our data.
So you've talked about the proposal of the legislature. If someone's seeing this and in the future they feel like they've fallen victim, that's the big question. What do we do?
Well, the best thing you can do is this security freeze. It's free to anybody who wants it. And basically, it is a padlock. There are 3 credit reporting agencies, the 3 major ones, so that if somebody has your information and they go to Best Buy to buy a TV in your name, using your data that they've stolen from some company, when it comes time to finalize the transaction, they'll say, well, what's your PIN number? And they won't have it. Only you have that number. So the transaction cannot go through, credit may not be taken in your name, and it preserves your credit rating.
Before we wrap, do you think this is going to continue to be an issue, an increased issue year after year?
I'm afraid that it will, simply because the hackers, the criminals, they're greedy, and there's more and more and more of our data being aggregated by all these companies. And the more that we hand over all of our privacy to these corporations, then we're at risk.
North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein, thank you for your time.
Thank you.